Yeah.
Cody, it's finals week, and my brain hurts.
See, I empathize, but I also literally cannot relate because it's midterms week for me. Or not even. But, like, hey, it's almost over, my man.
I know.
I have till fucking June, so...
But see, the struggle is that I get, like, a summer, aka 2 weeks, and then summer semester starts.
Yeah, that's fucked.
So right. So it's like go hard in the paint for, like, 2 weeks, and then back at it again.
Hard in the paint?
It's a basketball metaphor. Don't you get it?
Yeah, you know.
Haven't you watched High School Musical before?
See, I was gonna think that, I don't know, maybe you just were studying out basketball for some reason recently. But no, of course, it's a High School Musical thing that you just pulled.
Well, I mean, I played basketball for, like, 10 years.
Damn. Okay, Kobe. Damn. Got Kevin
like,
Durant
come at me,
podcast.
but, I mean, I also know more about High School Musical than your average bitch, so, like...
I played basketball for 1 year in my co-ed middle school basketball team.
Okay, wait. Tell me everything.
That's literally
Fuck
it.
this podcast.
That's the whole thing.
What position did you play?
Fucking Fido. Definitely not anything important. Didn't play a lot, I'll tell you that. But I made the team because I was determined and I showed vigor.
I love that. What color
I
were
was
your
probably
jerseys?
like 4'9" and like just had a lot of spunk.
Oh my god.
And I left early to do theater because of course I fucking did.
Okay, wait. So you lived the High School Musical life,
I don't
though,
want
is
to
the thing. Why didn't you tell me anything about this?
I didn't think this was relevant until you brought it up.
Excuse me? You didn't think this was relevant? What do you mean? I don't... Okay, what color were your jerseys?
Fuck. So our school colors were blue and gold, but I think it wasn't great, but I think we wore blue and gold, and then when we were at other places, it was like white and gold or whatever.
Okay, I can dig that.
Yeah.
Did you have a basketball bag, or did you have one of those string bags? Like the drawstring bags? This is a very important question.
I don't know. I just put shit in my locker and then in my school bag. Like.
Okay, fine.
I'm sorry.
Fine.
Sorry to disappoint you.
No, I mean, that's fine, I guess. I can't believe that you just never told me this.
Why would I have told you this?
This is, like, crucial information.
This is what I tell everyone on my first dates with people. I'm like, hey, so just so you know, I was a legend, a basketball star.
Speaking of, actually, Cody, do you want to tell our dear listener friends about some of your changes to your dating profiles this week?
I can't believe you're cornering me like this. I can't believe...
I didn't corner you into anything, actually. I think that you're the one that led into this.
I just, like, what do you want me to say, my man? That I have a picture of Griffin McElroy that says busted nut on my Tinder? Is that what you want me to say? Because that's the truth.
That's exactly what I want you to say.
And I will say, it does follow another photo that is from the amazing television show Unreal, in which it's a woman showing her wrist that has a tattoo and her saying, money, dick, power, right? And that's just...
amazing.
I want everyone to know when they see me on Tinder that those are my three main philosophies.
It's just so amazing and perfect and everything that has ever been and will ever be.
Thank you, I tried.
Also, just so that you know, and so that we don't have to touch on it next week, these podcasts are always pre-recorded, right? Just spoilers. And I am watching SNL as we are recording this podcast, and Kate McKinnon is impersonating Kristen Stewart as we are
Damn, this
recording
is live.
this right now. Breaking news, like
wee.
hot news. yeah, pew pew pew. Coming through hot as we are chatting right now.
Because in case you forgot, this is a Twilight podcast. It's not just us talking about our childhoods.
And Kate McKinnon is definitely doing the, like, putting her fingers to her forehead in the same mannerism that Kristen Stewart does all the time, and it's like, I'm shook right now. So, that's a thing. now that we've touched on our High School Musical corner and our relevant K-Stu corner, also, it should be noted that K-Stu, what was our relevant fact? She's going to be at Cannes Festival.
Doing great.
I don't know how to say that.
You just said you could have sold it either way, but you were so hesitant.
It's just, I don't know how to say it, but we definitely texted about this week, so that's relevant news. As far as other things that we should touch on, we did receive a question last week that came in after we were recording.
Like, literally the second after we stopped recording. It was so heartbreaking.
It made me so sad. I don't know if we should mention the name.
We should, because it's from our sister podcast, Dumb as Fuck, so...
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, the question was... how do we think our skincare routines compare to Bella's? Cody, you can go first.
Not as good. I barely wash my face all the time. I'm bad at being a human and a skincare person.
Excuse... What?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. What do you mean you barely wash your face?
I forget, okay? And sometimes, it's just, like, really hard to do it all the time. And, like, I don't want to take off my brows all the time because they look good and they're hard to do. So, like, I'll just keep them for a little bit. I don't wear a lot of face makeup. I barely wear any. It's usually just eyebrows. Like, that's it. So, like...
Okay. So, I'm gonna be supportive here. And I'm just gonna save my personal reactions and feelings for this when we are not recording our podcast. Because as someone who definitely works in skincare, I have a very regimented skincare routine.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of feelings about what you just said. So that basically answers my question about I have a very regimented skincare routine, and it has a lot of steps.
Yeah.
And
Bella wishes she could get on your level.
I have a lot of steps, but it doesn't take me a lot of time.
That's
because
good.
I don't actually like spending a lot of time
Sure.
on my skincare routine. But it's a lot of serums and a lot of masks and a lot of moisturizers and those kinds of things. So that's about it. I like it a lot. It's very fun for me to do.
Proud of you.
Thank you so much. It's been a glow-up routine because I did not always have great skin. And now it's something that I take pride in. That's great.
Yes.
Yes. We should probably chat about the book.
Yeah, I don't know if you've forgotten, but this is Twilight podcast, and we read, well, not Twilight, but New Moon. In this case.
I mean, it's the Twilight song.
Twilight adjacent. So.
Yes. This week, it was chapters 13 and 14.
Yep.
So, one of the things that I want to mention just right off the bat, because this will come in handy once we actually get to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
These two chapters in particular are the most different when we actually get to watch the movie.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yes. So it was so interesting reading these for me because the content is the same.
Mm-hmm.
The way that it's adapted into the movie is completely different.
Damn.
It's for the best, I think. Because we keep the same screenwriter.
Right.
So Rosenberg is the same one throughout the whole series. But it's super interesting to keep in mind that the way that this is going to be adapted is different. So keep that in mind, I guess. But yeah, so chapter 13 is going to be the killer. And it is rough, I guess.
It's never not rough.
I mean, fair. That's true. Where we left off last week, Bella was going on a mission after figuring out that Jacob was a werewolf, and she was unamused by that fact, I guess. So now, starting off this chapter, she's on her way to Jacob's house to, I don't know, slap the shit out of him, I guess.
Like, what does she expect to get out of this? It's like 2 a.m, and she's like, bitch, I know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's mentioned again that it's not even light out, and she's completely unamused by the fact that, 1, he's a werewolf, and 2, she's under the impression that he kills people, and yet she's just going balls to the wall, heading over to his place, and just ready to confront him about that. What is she expecting to gain out of this?
Don't know.
I have no idea. But she's heading there anyways, because that's the Bella that we know and love, I guess. Okay,
She has
Bells.
this really funny, like, monologue in the car, like, prepping herself up to go to the Blacks, and she's like, it was bad enough that my best friend was a werewolf. Did he have to be a monster, too? Which is just, like, the funniest fucking
I love that. I love that so much.
why are you... God, so ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand either, I guess, that she doesn't get social cues. So she gets there, right? The house is dark. And she realized that there's no lights on in the house. And yet she's still like, okay, well, I'm just going to slam against the door. And I don't care if I wake anybody up.
I feel wanted in this place in this time right now.
Yep, this is very important and crucial that I be here in this moment and absolutely just continue in this path. I think that it's interesting, too, that she has this conversation with Billy as well, because she acts like it's the same idea that she's had the previous days before when it's Jake ignoring her, because she can, I don't know, she perceives it almost as if Billy is being intentionally evasive about where Jake is, as if it's not, you know, the middle of the morning and he's potentially asleep. Right. Because when she's like, where is Jake? And he's like, I don't know.
It's like, fuck.
Right.
And her narration's so wild because it's like, he lied, straight face. Like, well, I mean...
He could just not know. Do you know
it?
Right. And then, of course...
If his son left it, like, fucking 2 hours ago, who knows? How is he supposed to know?
Right. And, of course, once she tells him where Charlie is, about the fact that him and all the other men in town are in the woods, it felt very, like, Beauty and the Beast to me, of them, like, on this wild goose chase. And then he's like, oh, shit. Well, I mean, I don't know. He's, like, probably asleep, but, like, I don't know. I thought that it was wild, though, that she's like, I mean, I just need to go talk to Jacob right now. And then just, like, pushes through and, like, pushes back the door. And then as soon as she sees Jacob asleep, she's like, oh, shit. Well, I mean, I guess I can't do this anymore.
Like, did you think that he would be, like, waiting for you awake?
What were you expecting, Bells?
I have so many questions.
And none of them are being answered right now.
No.
Yeah. I feel so bad for Jake, though, because the fact that the way that she describes him being asleep, like, diagonally across his bed, just, like, absolutely asleep. The fact that she slammed the door and it reverberated across his wall, like, it didn't even make him, like, twitch in his sleep. Like, he is just an absolute adolescent boy. Yeah. Just completely conked out. It was hilarious to me reading that. But yeah, it completely changes her opinion. She's like, you know what? I'm just going to go down to the beach, I guess. Will you just let him know that I was here? It was so... This whole scene did not need to happen.
It's so unnecessary. Like, we got literally nothing from that. Nothing.
Yep, absolutely nothing. Nope. The only thing that needed to happen was this next scene of her going to the beach and trying to find the driftwood and her reliving the same scene that she had been having in her dream. That was what we needed to see because that's what she had been thinking about, not her actually going to the house. But that, even then, was still gross and unnecessary.
Yeah, because Bella loves just reimagining old trauma and living in the past.
Especially when we get to when she's reliving this scene, right? And she's starting to think about Jacob. And we get this gross, nasty phrase of her thinking about Jacob and saying, quote, I still couldn't turn a blind eye to what was happening, unquote. And it's like, hey, absolutely not, though, is the thing. The benefits of course, having a Kindle is that we have a popular highlighted phrase here.
Here we go.
Yep. And it hasn't happened in a while, so it's nice. It says, quote, once you cared about a person, it was impossible to be logical about them anymore. So...
That's not healthy.
Nope.
That's not healthy.
And that would be highlighted by 1,484 people.
No, guys.
Myself, not included. Thank you very much. Guys. So, gross. In what world would that be okay to put in that, Stephanie Meyer?
I just have a lot of questions.
Yeah. And especially because, Bella is here at the beach trying to work through how she feels about Jacob, right? And her conclusion is that Jacob was her friend whether or not he killed people. And, okay, so here's the thing. I have been getting back into listening to a lot of true crime podcasts.
As you do.
Right, as you do. And I think that a lot of folks would disagree with that.
Yep.
Myself included with that, actually.
True crime podcasts aside, just, like, people and murderers, maybe, like, not people you want to be friends with.
Right. Jake's here now. Great. In another episode of Is This a Sentence That I Needed to Read? Thank you much, Stephanie Meyer. Quote, I could see his silhouette against the coming sunrise. Dash, it looked enormous. Stephanie.
Steph. Shut it down.
Is that the way that you announce that it is going to be a change from, like, I don't know, almost sunrise to sunrise? Like, no. No. Shut up, Stephanie. No.
Oh, God.
Someone take her laptop from her, please, God.
Burn it. Just burn it.
How many people read through this manuscript and that was allowed? Oh, my God.
So many people had to read that with their own eyes.
Yep. And
just
that was
too
allowed.
many.
Yes. Anyway, okay. Jacob gets there, and this is when it starts to get, like, super gross. And that's saying something, right?
Yeah. Buckle up, everyone.
Yeah. Because of the fact that he announces, right, like, oh, hey, Billy said that you came by. And it's like, no shit, Jacob. How in the world would you have known? Like...
You just want to take a morning stroll?
Right, yep. And then, of course, we get this pause where apparently he is reading her expression. And Jake gets pissed off now, all of a sudden.
Boy.
And I don't know how to proceed from here. Because this is where the abundance of miscommunications in Bella's life...
Literally...
is just so much. Because now Jacob's pissed, right? And we don't really know why. Because he's like, you could have just called. And now we get this conversation of Jacob being pissed, and now Bella's pissed. And they're both, like, genuinely pissed, but for two very different reasons.
And, like, they're not going to talk to each other about it, right? Like, they're not going to have a normal conversation about why they're angry, and then realize that they're not angry for the same reason, and that they misunderstood each other, both.
Nope.
Why?
Nope.
Like, it takes them so long for them to be, like, yelling at each other, and then they finally be like, oh.
Yep. Instead, it's this immense amount of tension to the point where Bella finally has to say to Jacob, can you just not be a werewolf? Which, amazing.
Right. Just,
Thank you.
You know what? Actually, I will do that. Thank you. I needed to see the light from your wisdom, Bella. Thank you.
And
I can just stop. Hey, how about you just stop being depressed, you know? You know what? I will. Thank you. I'll get on to that right now.
I love that. I love that so much. And that, of course, makes Jacob even more pissed off, right? Understandably so.
Of course.
Because I don't know what else you're supposed to say other than, like, hey, can you just stop being a crucial component of yourself? So, of course, he calls Bella a hypocrite. And
cute. Good luck.
Very helpful. This is exactly the kind of conversation y'all need to be having. And, of
really
course...
productive and mature.
Yep. And, of course, Bella's like, me? A hypocrite? It's both so good. This is great. Thank you so much. I really needed to
read dialogue.
Yep. Oh my God. And then, amazing. Exactly what else I needed to be reading. Jacob responds with, I'm sorry I can't be the right kind of monster for you.
Yo, what a fucking dig.
Oh, holy shit. Man, this conversation, though, is the thing. So, it's a great dig. But Bella, instead of just being like, you know what? Thank you. Peace. I live a great life. She instead responds with some ableist language. She basically is just like, it's not what you are, it's what you do, which which is the most unclear thing. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Which, of course, is what Jacob says.
And they're also playing under the pretense that, like, they know what the other person's talking about when they clearly don't.
They
so
don't.
When she says stuff that's, like, eliciting that, he's just like, wait, what? What do you mean?
Right. Until finally, she says, like, is it necessary to kill people? Can you just not murder people? Because vampires don't murder people. These vampires, anyway, don't murder people.
And my sweet boys don't.
Right, of course. And so, of course, he's like, well, wait, is that all you were worried about? And my favorite thing about this, too, is she's like, what do you mean that's all? Like, as if murdering people is not a big deal.
It's like, Jacob, of course, what?
Right.
And he starts laughing, and she's like, Jacob, you're murderers. They're funny.
It is not the time to be laughing. Yeah, so of course, he tells her that he's not the one that's killing people, and everything is fine, and she's like, oh, great. Then she's like, wait, not great. Who's the one that's killing people? So then she finds out that the wolves are the ones that killed Laurent.
No, I'm so sad.
Oh, sorry.
Like, he was a bad boy, like, for sure. Definitely not great. But, like, God, he had so much swagger. And, like, we're never gonna see him do his thing and fucking wearing all the vests at once and just living his goddamn dreams. I'm very sad about it. Like, I'm more sad about this than literally anyone else in this book dying, probably.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's just he was so cool.
I mean, he was really cool.
Yeah. Sure, totally evil. Like, the evilest. I mean, not the evilest.
Not the evilest.
Pretty evil.
Do you know who's also really cool, Cody?
Yeah.
Harry Styles.
You can't believe we're watching SNL while recording this podcast.
He's just so beautiful. You know that?
God, can we please keep going?
Sorry. Yes, Laurent is super cool and had great style. But he was also trying to kill Bella, which, like, not cool.
Yeah, well, you know.
I mean, she had, like, great blood, but, like...
Like, she had that good blood, you know? So, I get it.
Yeah, and, like, that strawberry shampoo, like, I get it, but...
Yeah.
I mean, it's not cool to, like...
Originally, all he wanted to do was just play some baseball, so, like...
That's true.
If Bella didn't fuck it up and smell like she does...
To be fair, it was James.
Well, James is a bad boy, but he's dead and I don't care, so...
There you go. It's just so refreshing to hear you have opinions on Twilight. Like, that makes me transcend to
I know too much now to, like, not be able to make actual commentary, which literally hurts me, because I love talking about things, but I hate knowing a lot about this type of thing.
I love that so much.
No.
So, here's the thing, though. Before we find out who is actually killing the people around them parts.
As if y'all didn't fucking know already.
Right, yeah.
Like, fucking...
As if you couldn't tell what that fire in the water, like, as if you couldn't tell what those...
suspense of things you already knew!
Right. So, we find out how some of the Hollywood myths aren't necessarily true in them parts.
I want to shed my skin.
So that was embarrassing and awkward and wild.
Bella keeps, like, as if Bella didn't learn from the whole vampire thing that, hey, maybe all the stuff that you know about vampires might not be true because of pop culture. But she just goes right back to that mindset when she's talking about werewolves. Like, doesn't there have to be a full moon when you turn into a werewolf? He's like, God damn it.
She just, like, loves lore about shit. She just, like, I don't know why, but she, like, loves monsters and shit. Which, like, I don't know, chase your bliss, like, love your things, but, like, what the fuck? Okay, here's the thing, though. So, of course, she slowly comes to the realization, right, that
Wait, hold on, don't say it.
Laurent's not the one that's killing people. My favorite thing, okay, so this happens, right, with the most amount of ellipses. So she's like, Laurent is dead. And she's gasping, right? And then she says her entire body went cold, right? Because trauma. Mm-hmm. And so she's like, if Laurent died, ellipses, a week ago, ellipses. Then someone else is killing people, italics, now. And then there's, like, other shit, right? But then we get to another very important popular highlight. And this one is only highlighted by 180 people. Whoa, that's not a lot, but it's still popular. It says, Victoria was here, looking for me, killing strangers in the woods. The woods where Charlie was searching.
Why would people ever choose to highlight that?
I don't know.
Like, you know what? You know what I want to say forever in this book? Just
Victoria.
Victoria's killing people in the woods.
Yep. Dun dun dun. Guess who's back? So yes.
The only one that's fucking left.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Nope. It's just been Edward all along.
Yo.
Can you imagine?
What a fucking twist.
Right. So, of course, Bella quickly loses it. And just slumps over. And just cannot handle the fact that Victoria is hunting her. Because logically, that's the only one to make sense. Yeah. But she just had not put the pieces together. So that's great. Thank you, Bella.
Thank you.
Yep. So now we get to handle Jacob trying to, like, slowly take care of Bella. But now we get to have to deal with them going to a meeting. Yay.
Yay. Bring your girlfriend to work day.
Oh my god. Yes, exactly. My favorite thing about this, though, is that he has to, like, leave her to go talk to the boys, which means him running off into the woods, like, taking off all his clothes, like, talking to them really quick, and then, like, coming back and putting on all his clothes again.
So silly.
It's so wild.
Hold on, wait, just give me a second.
Yep. Yep, exactly.
So can you guys not have a conversation with shirt on? Is that not possible?
No, of course not.
No, it's fine. It's, keep doing you, I guess.
So they get in the car and head to the rendezvous point. The weird thing about this, though, is so when they're on their way to all meet each other, we find out Jacob starts asking her questions about the Cullens, which is weird because he knows how she feels about them.
Yeah, kind of a sore spot, my dude.
And yet he still does it. So I thought that was weird. I don't know. Especially because he calls her a spy and stuff. Like, I don't know why Stephanie thought that this was appropriate to put in. No. But whatever. Stephanie, I have so many questions. It's just all gross, I guess. That's really about it, I guess. Did you have any other feelings about the end of this chapter?
Actually, yes. So, Jacob... Okay, so Jacob says something at the end of this where he's like... Bella says, how do you know me so well, Jacob? Sometimes it's like you can read my mind. And then Jacob says something interesting and it's like, no, I just pay attention. Which I think is really interesting because I feel like with her relationship with Edward, he was always so annoyed that he couldn't literally read her mind.
Yes.
But he also didn't really take a lot of time to actually get to know her a lot, at least in a way that was, like, in your brain in this kind of way. And I don't even think that Jacob knows her this well, but I do think that he does understand her from a different level than Edward did, because he can't read minds, so he just is like this, he's actually trying to, like, know who she is and stuff and get into her brain.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Stephanie is trying to heighten the amount of romantic tension between them than there actually is. Like, in my mind, they don't actually have as much romantic tension than she is trying to showcase. Yeah. So they're just like friends. But I do think that they are comfortable with each other and that they have a different kind of bond. And so I think that you're right that the amount of time that they've spent with each other where they are both just having to observe each other and those kinds of things, it's valuable. Whereas I think with Edward, he's just kind of been like, well, obviously I know these things about her because we've gone through these experiences.
And also her and Jacob were friends and had an established friendship for a long time.
Right.
She was always in either a relationship or trying to be a relationship with Edward and was never we're just friends, and for months and months have hung out as friends. So they never knew each other like that.
Yeah, I think that was an interesting point. Once they finally get to the rendezvous point too, the gross thing too, which it's so typical Stephanie of Jacob having to say who's who's afraid of the big bad wolf.
Ugh, the worst. So bad.
Yep.
Fucking cancel. Shut it down.
Yep. And then they get out and head towards everybody, which is basically where chapter 13 ends. Yep. So chapter 14 of Family is is them walking, her and Jacob walking side by side, trying to find everybody else. My favorite thing though is Bella has this idea of the werewolves that she had in her mind when she was with Laurent. And so she has that when she's starting this chapter. But what she really says at the beginning though is they were really just 4 really big half-naked boys.
I mean, she's not wrong.
No, she's really not wrong. So that was my favorite thing. It's just, I can't wait for you to see this in the movie though. Because as good as this part is, like, good, I can't wait for you to see this in the fucking movie. Because movie Bella finally does something that I wish that book Bella had done here. And I want to be able to fucking talk to you about it, but I can't. So, anyway, okay, I'm over it, sort of. So basically, this whole section is just the boys being pissed at Jacob because they've gotten over his gag order. And fucking Jared and Paul are just so unamused by Jacob. It's fucking hilarious to me.
Literally same, though.
I mean, fair. And it's just Jacob being like, I mean, can't you just hang, though? And
it's my wife.
It's my wife. Yeah, exactly. Paul is forever unamused by this whole thing because he's pissed off always. And just like, so he's just ready to pick a fight, which I get it, but I want to discuss with you though, the adjectives that Stephanie uses to describe this scene.
Oh boy.
Because basically what happens is Paul is pissed that Jacob brought Bella here, and Jacob is annoyed that Paul is annoyed. And so what happens is they throw hands. However, Stephanie does not describe it that way.
No.
Instead, she describes it through words such as vibrating, ripping, and exploding.
I mean, no.
Yeah. And like tremor and enormous. And it's just like, hey, so, what is the thing? What are you talking about here? It's just a lot. My favorite thing about reading all of this is juxtaposing it with the behind the scenes interviews that the FX team had during the second movie when they were all like, fuck. When they had to realize that they had to CGI all of these wolves. Not only during this scene, but throughout the rest of the series. And they were like, oh, shit. How do we do this? So that's great. But basically, now we just have 2 wolves trying to fight each other. And Bella's like, well, shit. What do I do? I want to be able to make you watch the behind the scenes, but just know that when they were filming this, it was 2 white cardboard cutouts that they were moving along a tree line.
That's great. That's just wonderful.
Yeah.
Like, really solid.
Yep. And then they just put growling sounds over. So that's great.
God.
Yep.
This is a real life production, like a really big thing.
Yep.
And yet.
So that was good. Bella was unamused because she was like, well, I mean, basically Jacob just died, so that was great. Also, the fact that she describes it as the Jacob wolf really fucked me up when I was reading this.
Yeah.
Anyway, they take her to Emily's, and the idea of her having to deal with this is, on the one hand, funny to me, but also weird and makes me sad because I don't want her to deal with trauma again. And so, reading through it again, I just felt upset. Knowing how it goes in the movie, I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is fine, Bella, don't worry about it. But knowing book Bella, I'm like, hey, just please don't, is the thing. I want to know how you feel about them getting to the house and her interacting with Emily.
I feel like Emily has this really interesting relationship with Sam. And it's, like, very, I don't want to say protective, but she's very, like, one of them. Like, one of the guys, almost. We will do it in that gross way. But, like,
yeah.
So I feel like bringing, I don't know, it's very gross to be, like, bringing in another woman into the house. And it's, like, obviously there's, like, drama and, like, whatever. But, I don't know. I think it's interesting, their dynamic.
Yeah, I agree. The way that Emily is described, I enjoy her character, and she has a role later on as well.
Mm-hmm.
I have always been curious with the way that Stephanie uses her character because of the fact that, I don't know, I don't want to go into it too much because her character is developed later on as well, but I did think that it was an interesting choice for Stephanie to have her be wounded by Sam.
Yeah.
And not just, like, I have a scratch that scarred over, but, like, severely, like, I don't know, she's messed up. Like, she's got some serious wounds, too. And so I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. Yeah. Especially because I feel like it's usually always, I don't know, something about that just, like, kind of grinds on my nerves.
Yeah. It's not great.
It is not. It is not great. She's a really great character, and I enjoy her a lot. But something about that has always just kind of bugged me.
There's only so many, like, motives you could use for that, and most of them are not great.
Yes.
In utilizing that as, like, this is your character, and, like, this is how I'm going to use you for the story, and to, you know, to facilitate all things that are happening around you to be.
Yes.
It's not great.
It is not. Her role is sweet, though, within this scene of just being able to give the other guys crap of just being like, will you just, like, have more manners and stuff like that. I don't know, the scene, though, of Bella watching Emily and Sam, though, was at once in character for Bella, but also just, like, kind of unnecessary. It was also another popular highlight of of the idea of it being worse than any romantic movie. Of her just, I don't know, watching them, like, embrace and stuff.
That's really funny, though, because, like, I don't know, remember when, like, Twilight was, you know, super lit and popular at the time? And, like, everyone, like, the whole meme was, like, still a better love story than Twilight, and that's what everyone said forever, and even till now. That's, like, literally in this text!
Yes.
And they twisted it and turned it around and used it against Twilight. That's so funny!
Yes. The idea of that is wild to me. I do think that it is interesting, though, that the boys are betting against Jacob and Paul. That's very, I don't know, sibling-esque, like, very family to me. I don't understand families, but, like, that seems very family to me. I don't know, this whole thing just seems very filler-esque, but I don't know, not necessarily, like, in a bad way, just more so just establishing their characters, I guess.
Stephanie's learning that not all filler has to be boring as shit and doesn't do anything.
Honestly, drag her, please, God.
God, I can't wait till the day that's never happening, but if Stephanie Meyer, like, legitimately knows this at one point, like, I'm just gonna have so much crap.
Yes.
In my backlog, and I what am I even gonna say? Like, what do I...
Yes. The one thing, though, that was interesting is once they all get together, they are talking about the fact that some of them want Bella to be bait for Victoria, which... So that was yikes. The other thing that I thought was sad, though, is they're talking about Quill. And,
oh my god.
And that hurts so bad.
Like, oh, he's so close to joining us. I'm like, no, don't take my precious boy.
Yeah, but they all say it in, like, a sad way, though, which hurt. It hurt me so much. Because even Sam's like, well, we won't count on that. And, so...
My son!
Poor Quill.
My precious boy.
Just take care of Quill, please. So, that hurts. That hurts me a lot. So, that was great. I mean, I don't know. This is all just pretty chill, I guess. They're talking about March Madness, which, like...
God, absolutely not. What?
Yeah. which was weird. But it's all, I don't know, pretty chill and easygoing and stuff like that.
Just some nice werewolf backstory.
Yep. Just kind of establishing people who are going to be a part of this series for the rest of forever, I guess. I don't know.
Nice.
And Charlie is there because they're talking about everybody getting together for pizza, which was rude because now I started craving pizza, which is not nice, I guess. The interesting thing about that, though, was once Charlie was there with Bella, she retracted the idea of the Sam's gang, which was important, I guess.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the chapter ends with Bella falling asleep again.
God.
Because
I guess there's only so many ways to get end a chapter, huh? You just...
Apparently, we're just never going to get a chapter ending with Bella taking a shower or any other general transition. Yep.
Great.
Next
week.
Just more fillers.
Chapters 15 to 16.
Less fillers.
Great.
I can assure you of that.
Oh boy.
Things get a little bit more lit. Not necessarily in a good way, but a little bit more lit.
Great.
But we've finally passed 50% on Kindle. Hell yes. So that's great.
This is Earbud Media production. Follow us on Twitter at Earbud Media. If you want to pitch a show to the network, you can do so at bit.ly/earbudpitch, which Ali reminded me sounds like if we had a baseball team, that's what it would be called.
I love it so
much. Also, check out one of our sister shows like Femme as Fuck, aka FemAF, which you can find on SoundCloud and everywhere else at FemAF Podcast, hopefully on iTunes soon. You can follow us and our show at Into the Twilight pretty much everywhere. Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, everywhere. Do it.
Please.
If you want to support the show, you can support us financially on Patreon, patreon.com/Into the Twilight. All of your donations are too generous and we love it. If you don't have those dollars, that's fine. You can rate and review us on iTunes, which is free as fuck and takes literally 2 seconds. If you have not done it yet, you are no longer a friend. Come on, fake fan.
Oh, damn. Damn.
That's it. I'm calling it.
Damn.
We also have a survey if you want to go the extra mile, bit.ly/into the survey, where you can fill like a 5-minute survey and help us get sponsors. Thank you.
Hell yeah. Okay, so our amazing artwork is done by Maddie Padilla, aka Your Ghost Host 44 on Instagram. Honestly, y'all, it's episode 22. If you haven't checked out Maddie on Instagram yet, what the hell are you doing?
Get your shit together.
Get it together. Please, God. Our music is done by Eli Krause. You can find Eli's amazing stuff at krausefilms.com. Again, it's episode 22. What are you doing? I've been saying this stuff for so long. Just check that stuff out. So I was thinking this week that we could compare Maddie and Eli to popular social media apps.
Great.
So for Maddie, I was thinking Snapchat.
Okay, sure.
And for Eli, I was thinking something obscure like Musical.ly or something like hot that the kids are doing right now.
Okay. Hold the fuck up.
What?
Musical.ly is obscure.
Well, because it's what the tweens are doing right now.
Right, but it's ridiculously popular. It's absurd.
Yeah, but it's not something that people that I know are doing.
I mean, of course not, because fuck that. It's silly.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
It's on the underground. And also, Eli isn't 12. It's not gonna be too music.
I know, but that's why I think it's funny, because I think it'd be funny if Eli was doing it. Okay,
fine. I guess you're not wrong.
Okay, well then, fine. I think
that's good. It's fine.
Eli would be, Slack or something. More practical.
Yeah, that's good.
There.
Great.
Fine. Okay, so, I didn't give you any options for fanfiction.
Wait, you can follow Ali on the internet, 23andMe, everywhere.
Obviously.
And you can follow me on the internet, Cody Captures. Okay, go. I also forgot to do that last time, so okay. Wow.
Yes.
I'm gonna block 23andMe on all my social media.
Oh, for fuck off. Okay, so I didn't give you any options for fanfiction this week.
Great.
because I found one that I needed to share, and I didn't want to give you any options to ignore it.
Correct.
This fan fiction was updated 14 hours ago.
Okay.
And it was published by the author Sailor Gloom. The title is The Web of Fate.
Okay.
And the description is a teenage shapeshifter named Bella moves to Forks, Washington.
Excuse me.
It is there that she stumbles upon a family with a secret of their own and multiple connections to her past. This is a Twilight AU involving a kick-butt Bella that doesn't fall for a manipulative dark ward, and a sprinkling of witches and a dash of fate. Rated T for language and violence, subject to change as the story grows. Oh god, okay. So, just buckle up, I guess. Okay. I quote.
Oh, God.
With nothing left to unpack, the girl sat back on the edge of her bed and accessed the torrential downpour of rain through her window. She would have definitely have to shift into an animal that didn't mind a little rain and would offer her warmth against the cold that January brought to the Pacific Northwest. Maybe I can try going for a bear if I get cold, she thought, a grin tugging at her lips. A glance at the calendar on the wall above her bed confirmed what she already knew. She wouldn't be able to shift until Friday evening, which meant she'd have to get through a week filled with restless irritability on top of being the new girl at school. Fantastic. Tomorrow would definitely be interesting. End scene.
Well.
Apparently the ship for this one is Bella and Jasper.
What?
So.
Yo, stop. This is what happens when you think about Twilight for way too long after it's relevant. You just start to your brain just melts and it doesn't know what to do anymore with the text that you're reading. It's like, no, this is cool. Yeah, for sure. They've spoken like, I don't know, twice, maybe. They love each other.
He tried to kill her once. It's
fine. Remember? Like, super chill. Get it together, fam. Come on.
I don't know, man. Like, a bear? I don't know.
Oh, God. As we say in Forks.
Get bit, y'all.